Hernandez was sent to the Souza-Baranowski Correctional Facility in April 2015 to serve his life sentence for the murder of Odin Lloyd. The maximum security facility, located in Shirley, Massachusetts, opened in 1998 and has had its share of troubles. 3 months prior to Aaron's death at the prison, a mass riot broke out at the facility, lasting 3 hours long and included 46 prisoners. In September 2024, 5 correctional officers were injured by prisoners inside the facility. 2 officers were stabbed multiple times during the incident. Tonight, we'll take a look at Aaron's incident and disciplinary reports from his first year at Souza-Baranowski.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming here now, coming here later. I'm just glad you're here. And like the intro said, we're going to go over 2015 Aaron Hernandez discipline and just regular incident reports while he was at Souza-Baranowski. And he was there from April 2015 until the time of his death in April 2017. Okay, this first one says, this was dated April 27th, 2015. On Monday, April 27th, 2015, I, Sergeant Ron Raymond, was advised by Captain Dewey to write a confidential incident report on why I looked up inmate Hernandez Aaron on Wednesday, 4/15/15 at approximately 14:16 on the IMS. I am the supervisor of the booking intake area of SBCC. I usually look up inmate transfers. I also fill in as the assignment sergeant who assigns inmate bed assignments. Because this inmate is such a high-profile inmate, I was in the process of looking up his STG affiliation and his enemies to make sure that there would be no conflicts in the booking area in case he was transferred directly here on the day of his sentencing. However, I don't believe I ever looked past the initial administrative VStat admin view screen and a report. So this is just a regular incident report, and there's 1 or 2 of them in here where an officer actually had to write up why they looked him up prior to him getting to the prison. This is dated April 27th, and it says on Sunday, April 26, 2015, while assigned to Inner Control, perform the weekly housing unit roster audit and had the following issue. Inmate Hernandez, who resides in M158, does not show up in the inmate management system. While inmate Hernandez is housed in SBCC per policy number inmate accountability, he cannot be properly accounted for as his inmate commitment number is invalid. Chain of command was notified. This is another one dated, the report's April 30th, and basically he did look up inmate Hernandez on April 15th, 2015 from the visiting room computer. I heard of the inmate number given to Hernandez and without thinking properly put the number in the IMS. Unfortunately, I did not realize COA Martinez logged on, and when I looked up inmate Hernandez, it was under his profile. I apologize for my actions and will face any discipline for me. That was the end of that report. So this is a disciplinary report, and this is dated May 14th, 2015. And it gives you the different offenses with the numbers. But I'm going to go ahead and read the description of the offense, and then we'll go on to the other pages to see what happened. On Thursday, May 14th, 2015, Inner Perimeter Security Officer Carlos Godin did find inmate Aaron Hernandez to be in violation of the rules and regulations at SBCC by receiving a tattoo while incarcerated. On Wednesday, May 13th, 2015, officer was notified that Hernandez was headed to the visiting room for an attorney visit and was observed that he had a tattoo on the right side of his neck that was visibly new. I intercepted Hernandez in the visiting room, non-contact area, inmate side, and verified that he had a new tattoo on the right side of his neck, which displayed the following. On the top, it says lifetime, and at the bottom, loyalty, using hand signs for the L in the beginning at the beginning and the Y at the end. Behind loyalty is a 5-point star. Below the star is a skull head on a spider web with flames as a foundation. Photos were updated on IMS. Hernandez was also seen by medical. So we see that they once again list all the different offenses they could have had, like violating department rules, attempting to commit any of the above offenses. Those things were dismissed. But 320, being tattooed while incarcerated, tattooing another, or possessing tattoo paraphernalia and or body piercing is an offense. And he lost canteen for 30 days, and that started on 5/15, it looks like, 2015, and it lasted through 6/17/2015. The boy loved his tattoos. So this next one is dated 5/17/2015. On May 17th, 2015, inmate Hernandez did violate the rules and regulations of the institution by tampering with a locking device and being insolent towards staff. At approximately 9:40 p.m., while assigned to level 1 corridor, I was conducting a marks and bruising check in the M1 housing unit for an unwitnessed altercation. I arrived at cell number 58, which houses inmate Hernandez. I asked for the cell door to open, but the inmate had the door blocked, making it difficult to open at first. Once the door was open, I conducted a visual search of inmate and found redness on inmate's knuckles and elbow. I then placed inmate in restraints and escorted him to the HSU to be seen by medical. While escorting inmate, he became agitated and insolent towards the staff member. Inmate stated, "You ain't got shit on me, nigga. You just making up shit." Inmate was medically evaluated and then escorted to the L1 housing unit to be placed on AA status. Inmate continued to be insolvent, stating, "This place ain't shit to me. I'll run this place and keep running shit. Prison ain't shit for me." Inmate was secured in L1 cell 30. I had no further contact with the inmate. So the offense, tampering with, damaging, blocking, or interfering with any locking or security device or window. He was found guilty of that. So he lost telephone privileges for 90 days. Everything else was dismissed except use of obscene, abusive language or gestures, and he lost use of the yard for 45 days. Tampering with and go back to that last page, make sure. Okay. So also tampering, blocking, interfering with any locking or security device or window. He lost canteen for 60 days. And he also lost use of the telephone for 30 days. So he lost all that for a good while. Next is dated May 20th, 2015, and it says on Sunday, March 17th at approximately 9:25 in the M1 housing unit, Hernandez assisted with a non-witnessed physical altercation by acting as a lookout. At this time, redacted entered M1 cell 58, which was assigned to Hernandez, and redacted were inside for approximately 8 minutes. Throughout the time, redacted and redacted were in cell 58. Hernandez was seen entering and exiting the cell several times, ultimately exited cell 58 and immediately reports to cell M137. Later that day at approximately 3:10 p.m., redacted staged an accident on the recreation deck in order to hide the injury from the altercation earlier that day. Redacted was sent to the outside hospital to seek further medical attention. So he receives disciplinary detention for 10 days, lost visits for 45, And that's it on that one. So now we're moving to May 16th. And this is like day after day. But remember, he was just locked up. He was coming here to serve his life sentence. So he's probably really angry at this point. While randomly monitoring inmate phone calls, it was noticed that redacted pen was used to place a call on Saturday, May 16, 2015 at 20:47 hours. Through the use of video surveillance, it was determined that Hernandez used redacted pen number to place a call. Also found inside Hernandez's phone book was the pen number and the contact information for the person he called. This call was approximately 14 minutes long. It should be noted that the time Hernandez is seen on the phone, there is no call recorded on his pen. So he lost canteen for 15 days for this report. On Wednesday, June 10th, 2015, at approximately 9:30, I was informed by inmate Hernandez that the power was out in his cell. Cell power is in need of repair. End of report. So that's just a incident report, and there's a couple of those where he just couldn't get power to his cell. So this is in July now, which I think he's been punished for a while, or he has had things taken away. So now we're at July 15th, 2015 at approximately 12:50. Souza did conduct a cell decorum round with Captain Bogery. At this time, they found a curtain hanging from the top bunk of cell 29 of housing unit P1, which houses inmate Hernandez. A curtain was also hung across the doorway, obstructing the view into the cell. Inmate Hernandez was placed on AA, and this ticket was generated. End of report. So he was charged with a bunch of things. Most of them were dismissed, except failure to maintain acceptable hygiene or appearance of a housing area, and he lost canteen for 15 days. So now we're on July 24th at approximately 13:40. CO found inmate Hernandez to be in violation of the rules and regulations of SBCC on Friday, July 24th, 2015. I was conducting pat searches of inmates entering the North Recreation Yard. I did conduct a pat search of inmate Hernandez, at which time I noticed what appeared to be fresh tattoo work on the right side of inmate Hernandez's neck. At this time, I moved the collar of inmate Hernandez's scrubs, and Sergeant Peter witnessed what appeared to be the new tattoo work on inmate's neck. Upon returning to housing unit P1, I contacted ISP and notified them of the findings. Level 1 notified. End of report. So this is a totally different tattoo, or maybe he added on to what he already had. This is in July. So he was appeal results. He did an appeal. There was no paperwork included in that. Maybe it was something from the last tattoo that he had. But he did receive loss of yard for 30 days. And so this is going to carry from September 10th to October 10th. Okay, so now we are on July 29th, 2015. The security found inmate Hernandez in violation of the rules and regulations of SBCC by being of possession and distribution use of tobacco products. So this actually happened on July 24th, 2015, and it was caught on video surveillance. And he is observed holding a homemade cigarette to his mouth with 2 fingers and smoking the tobacco product. Hernandez is then observed passing the homemade cigarette to redacted. And he did not receive anything for this, unless there was something on the other page. No. So I guess, oh wait, no, he did. Possession of tobacco products, loss of canteen for, I believe it said 30 days. So he's all the way to 60 days. I'm sorry. So he actually has no canteen through November 27th, 2015. So now we are on August 20th, 2015. At approximately 13:02, I was assigned to N1 housing unit, observed inmate Hernandez in violation of the institution's rules and regulations by being involved in a physical altercation with inmate redacted. Inmate Hernandez entered the N1 housing unit under escort and was assigned to live in cell number 17. Once he was in the unit, he began putting his property in the cell. Inmate redacted walked over to Hernandez and they appeared to have exchanged words with each other. At this point, closed fist punches were exchanged. I called in the fight via radio to enter control and began to lock the unit in. Responding staff arrived, chemical agent was dispersed, and the inmates fighting had to be separated, then escorted to HSU for medical evaluation. So they're going to have several reports, and it's kind of like point of view from each officer who was involved on the incident on the 20th. My plan was to go through and see who said something different, but I did not do that. So um, this officer says the same thing. Chemical agent was dispersed. Both inmates refused all orders again and continued to fight. We took control of inmate Hernandez upper torso and guided him to the ground to maintain control. CO Duval then placed him in restraints. CO Duval on his right arm and I on his left, then assisted inmate to his feet. Duval and I escorted inmate Hernandez out of N1 housing unit to HSU via central elevator to be evaluated and cleared for segregation placement by medical and mental health. After clearance, inmate was escorted to the back of the visiting room via central elevator with CO Duval on his right arm and I on his left. Once inmate Hernandez was secured in the holding cell, Duval removed his restraints, and this was at 1:17 p.m., so the inmate could be interviewed by ISP. I have no further contact. So this is another report point of view for somebody who was involved, basically stating the same thing. Placed wrist restraints with the assistance of another CO, helping Hernandez to his feet and upper arms, being escorting him to HSU via the central elevator. He was cleared by medical and mental health staff. They asked him if he wanted decontamination showers, and he refused. So he was escorted to the non-contact area of the visiting room, where I continued to escort, controlling his right arm, Sergeant I can't read that, on his left arm, and secured him in cell number 3. At 13:17 hours, Duval removed the wrist restraints from inmate Hernandez and had no further contact. This is just another one. Nothing different said. It's just a bunch of reports stating the same thing, but this is the actual disciplinary report, and it shows that on August 20th, 2015, through the use of investigative techniques to include video surveillance and confidential information, it was determined that inmate Aaron Hernandez redacted engaged in a physical altercation due to, and that's all redacted. It has also been determined that both redacted have been known to feud with each other within the institution. Upon the review of video surveillance, Hernandez was observed entering unit N1 and going to his assigned cell N116. Hernandez was removing his personal belongings from the unit laundry cart when redacted approached him and attempted to shake his hand. Hernandez struck redacted with closed fist punches to the face, and both inmates engaged in a physical altercation. The combatants ignored several direct orders to cease their actions, and chemical agents was utilized to separate the inmates. Hernandez and redacted was escorted to the health services unit for medical evaluation and placed in segregation. Upon conducting interviews in the unit, confidential information was received that this altercation was a result of an ongoing feud between redacted. So he was placed in disciplinary detention for 10 days, loss of gym for 45 days. So this has him with no gym through November 19th, 2015. And that was all he received for that, which is really odd. This is August, so he had so much punishment anyway at this point. So this is Monday, October 5th at approximately 9:10 while conducting a housing change for inmate Hernandez from N216 to N222. A cell entry exit inspection was completed with no issues. Due to there being no current method available for housing unit staff to test the power outlets in N22 has been reported by the next occupying inmate as having no working electrical power outlets. So this is just basically another inmate report where there was no power in the cells. This is another one. December 1st, 2015, inmate Hernandez self-reporting maintenance issues in his assigned cell into 22, no power going to the electrical outlets. On December 3rd, 2015, inmate Hernandez was found to be in violation of the rules and regulations by being in possession of a weapon. While conducting a search of N222, which houses Hernandez, a 5 3/4 inch piece of metal sharpened to a point with a cloth handle and a wrist tether was discovered amongst Hernandez's personal belongings. Nothing follows. So at this point, he is in disciplinary detention for 15 days. So that brings him from 12/4 to 12/18, it looks like. And then loss of canteen again, and that's going to carry him through March of the following year because he's going to get 90 days of no canteen. So that is all he had for 2015. He has a good bit for 2016, which we're going to go over another night this week. I know it was St. Patty's Day and people go out and do whatever. So I didn't want to make this a long session, if you will. So we read over 2015 and we see that he's getting in a lot of trouble. He's apparently very angry. This is after he receives his life sentence for the murder of Odin Lloyd. So another night this week, be on the lookout and I'll announce it. We'll go over 2016. And he did not have anything in 2017. All of the reports of 2017 are going to be of his death. We will eventually go over that, but I want to finish 2016 and look at some other stuff first. So again, I want to thank you for coming by. This was pretty short and sweet, 30 minutes, but thank you, and I love you all. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on new content. Hernandez was sent to the